Thank you so much, Zeke, Shayo, and Reese, and welcome back, everyone. My name's Sundown, joined here by Sancho West, and we're into the final three matches of EU Heat 1 Day 2, match 10, 11, and 12 to decide who will be going on to our grand finals tomorrow, who will be in that wildcard match, and who will be joining all of you as a spectator and a viewer.
And who will be getting that golden ticket as the Victory Royale gets you into the grand finals? Oh, that wild card. Oh, yes, yes. For now, we're watching Vidil, Kylie, and Fasroki as we're jumping into mid-game action here of Day 2, Game 4. We only got 3 games left. 3 opportunities for our trios to solidify themselves into the grand finals. And this trio right here, right now, sitting in 6th place on the cumulative leaderboard. I'm waiting for them because they've done this before in qualifiers, Sundown, where they kind of had very middling games, and then all of a sudden, Game 6, they popped off. I'm kind of put my pets down that Benji's trio is going to pop off very, very soon, my friend.
Yeah, and can you already see some defensive disengaged shockwaves coming out there from Mateo and Morix, but it might not end up being enough as the AR shots are raining down. But I don't want to kind of throw shade towards them, but I want to just like hazard and be cautious a little bit because we haven't seen them having any problems with picking up their first set of eliminations today.
Right.
That hasn't been their issue. We've seen them sitting on 3 eliminations. They've had, I think, at least 2 in almost every single one of their matches today. The difference being is they aren't transitioning those into placement points or even an opportunity to get an uncontested tarp. They end up bogged down in these weird situations. And as you can see on the side, yes, the 3 points from each one of those elims is nice, but you don't start getting those additional placement points until top 17. And then it's only +1 until you're getting into the top 3 situation. So the Victory Royales, the second places, and even the thirds are really where the big money tickets are.
And we're taking a look at teams, trios that are on the bubble. Void, Monster Muncher, Pinkay. Those are one to think about. Right here we have Zappy, Michael, and Wakey definitely on the bubble with 88 points going in. And they are just 10 points away from getting into that top 8. They got a Victory Royale in the heats. That's a good thing to have. But hey, your job's not done after the Victory Royale. And we're already seeing 2 teams that are outside the top 8 with Victory Royales here, Sundown. So Michael, Zappy, and Wakey, they're going to have to get it done here and be consistent in order to guarantee themselves in that top 8 finish.
And again, if you guys are just tuning in or need a reminder, what you care about today, 1st through 8th, all the same. And I don't want to say effectively, but at this point, the top 2, they can cement themselves in. Both are above 180 plus points. That's Wave Vidil, Fasroki, and Centric Kylie in 2nd, as well as Flick, BL Anas, and Gamma's Thomas HD in 1st. We'll likely be seeing them in the grand finals, barring some miraculous change. What does 8th place look like right now? It's just under triple digits, so a cumulative score of 100. We've been having a little bit of issues with our graphics today, but we'll be doing our best to keep you up to date on which one of those trios are right along the line and where they're at. Right now, there's about maybe 5 to 10 teams who are all right in striking distance of that top 8, and these guys are just on the outside looking in, as Sancho was saying, currently 9 points back of the 8th place mark, which is held by the M10 duo of Legends and Florix, as well as Waves Cartoon.
These are the bubble teams. These are the ones that are going to have the most extreme pressure. Will they crumble under that pressure or harden up into that beautiful diamond that they can be? Monster Muncher in this trio got a Victory Royale in this day here. So with a strong low ground gameplay, they were able to rack up elims and that Victory Royale. It just wasn't enough. They still have couple of 3 games here to kind of get them in, and to mention 9 through 16 they get placed into that wild card. So yeah, they're in that, but I don't think you could ever prep for that. There's literally no game plans, no playbook, no fundamental textbook that you could prepare, no I guess practice tests for that wild card game. It's just all in, all or nothing. And Blaster Alpha Nikov, they're currently sitting at 14th place, and they're just barely in that top 16. Only 9 points away from slipping out of that, Sundown.
Yeah, and they want to make sure they're staying as central as possible. You can see the zone is pulling directly over towards them, so they're not going to be too worried about. They're also coming from that safe side rotation, so not where most of the zone is going to be rotating towards them, also known as kind of the dead side rotation, the less popular route of where players are going to be coming from. So if the zone is pulling towards the south, anybody who's farther south on that is going to end up having an advantage and being less pressured than everyone else, because the majority of the map is going to be coming from the northern side. And as you can see here, they get a nice little casual jaunt from high ground to high ground, no contestation going through, and we're even able to pick up an elimination over on the side. So that's kind of the benefit and a textbook example of why those safe side rotations are generally preferred when possible.
Day 6, Centric Knight and Leon are another trio that are on the bubble. We have Kaizen, Zeiku, and Weepow, another trio on the bubble, and that is one of the ones that got the Victory Royale. Yeah, Victory Royales are important, but you just got to string together a pair of games. It could be back-to-back. It could be later in the day. It could be a sandwich of a pair of games. And the little Texas twang came out when I say sandwich. But Mongo, Mitro, and Tayson are proven to be premium top sandwiches here. And they just, I don't know, man. I want them to kind of go into the Grands with a statement. They haven't made that statement. They made it a lot in the qualifiers, but they haven't yet made it in the heats. They did get a 19 elim game in day 1, but you're only good as your last envelope there, Sundown.
I would say it's a little bit of a misnomer. They were good yesterday, minus the games where Mongo went out early, but that's the story of this trio. I would say, and somebody talked about it early on when I was going through and checking social media and checking some of the comments, but we watched Mongo burn like 4 shockwaves to do 40 damage and then get 2 pumped by a duo who was watching him. So, like, let's just eliminate those moments, right? Okay. Let's take out the moments where you let kind of the rabid dog loose for a moment, and let's just let him loose later on in the game after you've gotten your placement points, because as we've seen time and time again, he doesn't have to be close range to be dangerous. He likes to be box to box, and he's very good in those situations, but he is more than capable of laying down some of the most accurate rifle fire in the game. Proof in fact right there. Ewan eats shot after shot, headshot, body shot from that epic AR. Will let Mongo net the elim there. However, not going to be able to get any of the materials and the benefit that comes from it, but they're sitting on more than enough.
And these are the easy elims that is just being paid off by positioning, by Tayson getting him into the right position, unleashing the beams from that great trio of Mongo and Mitro, and Tayson himself, the solo champion. The story was as well, can Tayson, the in-game leader, get those two together on the same page? Because when they're operating on the same page, they're deadly. Now we're going to take a nice drone flyover at the rest of the field, the deadly trios that are still up. I'm taking a look at some of the ones that are such on the brink of not making that top 8. You see them on the south side there, Nikov there. And now we see the Savages, the Lechis. And they have some neighbors in the Fremont. And Fremont, 7-Tor, and Link, as you see on the left side, barely made it in, coming in with that top 16 finish. And they're in danger of not even making it to that wildcard threshold. So many storylines, so much pressure is happening. And now we take a look, zoom in on Mongo, Mitro, and Tayson as they're going to kind of billy goat this. And you said so yourself, a Sentinel Graveyard possibility, another finish here, Sundown.
And it seems like we're heading a little bit in that direction, but some changes in verticality right now as everyone kind of posted up towards the side of this mountain. You can see the pressure coming out from that legendary TAC SMG. You see a lot of players opting not necessarily to run it because the AR ends up ending up being, I think, a slightly more efficient when it comes to just the box-to-box spray, or at least not worth losing a weapon slot over, as Recon does get taken out. He was a solo rider there, not going down but not out. So nice little point just being gifted on over again to our currently 4th place trio. Just one more good game from them should cement them into our grand finals, but everyone else is going to be fighting for their literal tournament lives, as Sniper God Nurixon right now going to have to fight without Kira as he gets taken down.
And it's such a dangerous, precarious situation that this trio is in, being down a teammate, considering they are in 9th place going into this match as Vettel picks up a knock on Badil. So that's going to be interesting as Savage just gets taken down as well. But Benji kind of returns and trades against that trio. So the elims are we are literally watching the story be written right in front of us as if it's a book. And things are going to get spooky here. We're going to see who is going to be the hero of the tale and who's going to come up on top. We have 3 games left here of our day 2 in Heat 1. All the other heats are happening at the same time. So before you know it, we're going to know who's going to be the top 8. And Sniper, oh my goodness, before you know it, you get a little greedy. You stick your hand in that cookie jar and you get slapped on the wrist. Sniper God goes down. And it's all going to be up to Neuro to get that revive.
Yeah, you can see him getting tossed back, and they're trying to play defense on top of that body, but it's going to be so incredibly hard to hold that back. Now, the question is, are they going to opt to pursue? As you can see, Void, Pinky, and Monster just opting to leave the situation. This actually looks like it's a 1v1, so Naraxon might be able to stick this, but no, the spray is going to come through. Going to opt for a shockwave and say, see ya, Sniper God, so long, farewell, and thanks for none of the supplies. Not going to get anything out of that situation, as all the utility is going to be burned to get over towards this half-in, half-out zone, which is pulling towards the northwest side. And you can see the players up on height going up with the hard mats. You can see Godsent Trio, Snappy over on the side, Nikov and Blaster, also another one of those bubble teams in there, Sammy and Dennis as well. Naraxon is actually able to go back over and potentially try and stick this revive. Not sure if they really have the time. The storm is... Nope.
Hey, they're going to shockwave out. Yeah, you gotta believe, dude. You gotta believe. He said, I have chug splashes, pick me up. And there they go. They bolt on in. And someone queued. But, hey, Sniper does go down on that rotation. But, hey, that was a very bodyguard type moment right there. You see him right there, man. Hey, trios, they ride together. They get eliminated together. You know what I mean? That's what you gotta do. That is the kind of love that these trios have for each other. But look at the love that Magro, Tayson, and Mitra are about to do. We already saw them in that 19 inland pop-off game. They put the entire lobby in a barrel and beamed everybody down, and they have the high ground here in this tower just for a brief moment because the rotation has kind of sound out. The Zix zone has been revealed, but look at this. No one really focusing on the high ground for this moment, and that's just going to give Mongo and Mitra Tayson the green light to take it, and there they have it. Now they have to just keep everybody off their pedestal, and they could be the kings and get the victory royale here, Sundown.
Yeah, this is going to be their qualification game. They have height priority. Nobody else was even looking for it. You saw Mongrel just wait the extra 2 seconds to make sure nobody was going to go up to the level and be able to take his bounce cards out. And now this is where we've seen him excel time and time again, whether it was the infantry rifle clips back in Season X when he was just sitting there laughing maniacally, hitting the launch pad players out of the sky, but now finding the 35 white tags over and over again, but not quite converting it into an elim yet. Another headshot coming through, some contention coming out from the side, so needs to be a little bit wary of his mat count. Does have chug splashes as well as we're going to continue along the tarp. Now, don't forget, we're just getting into those placement thresholds as well. And right as we talk about it, Tayson actually going to end up getting knocked down here. And that's Anos who's able to make the play. Mexi is going to find Flick. So both of our power trios losing members. And Mongo says, I got a piece of revenge for you there. Anos going down. And it's all going to be on the back of Thomas HD for what feels like the umpteenth time as Mitro, Mongo, and Tayson are up on the high ground. And Thomas is just below them. However, we're going to swing on down to the low ground where one of our bubble teams, the M10 duo Legends and Florixon, are trying to hold on to their 8th place spot. Mitro desperately trying to get back into the zone with only 10 HP right now.
10 HP and a dream, but he does have Mongrel, and Mongrel just kicks it up to a whole other level at in-game. As so now we're on board with Waves, Trio, and Co. right now. Florix, Legend, and Cartoon on the low ground, but looking really bad in terms of inventory. Not great mats, and their HP is low. That's a big-time hit. They're going to be able to get some siphon out of that. They're going to be able to continue the ride on the low ground. And when you're on the low ground, you got to be careful, because up type could kind of squish you down, and Legends loses 2 of his mates. Actually, Florix is still up. Looking good. Benji getting good. Nikov getting Elim. Flick getting Elim, and Astro gets Legend. Bang! Legend with the pump right in Astro's grill, and Legend is keep moving on. He's actually doing really good. He's petrified.
And I felt so bad for Cartoon. He was dropping those peppermints for his teammates, but it enabled Legends to make the play. However, going to get picked off over on the side. It's all into Florixon. Uses the shockwave, but completely misangles it. Goes way out into the zone. And Mitro says, thank you. I'll take that one. Gift me another, sir. Up on the high ground, Mitro and Mongrel say we don't need Tayson right now as they push forward and cement their spot into the grand finals. With only 2 matches after this, the field will not be able to catch them as they continue racking in elim after elim. 9 total so far, Sancho, as they're into the top 3.
Mongrel and Mitro are basically bursting bubbles of tournament runs and tournament dreams right here. They're being the nightmare for this lobby as they have full control. iDrop goes down. Battle is still alive. Sammy, another one of those teams in the back of the pack. Can Sammy's trio get a victory royale? Or Mongrel, Mitro could close this out, a top 3 situation, and now they're just waiting, and now they're just toying around as they're in the safe zone. They do lose height for a moment, but the low ground peak, they're out of mats, but the low ground peak is strong with that legendary pump. They get 1. Can they capitalize to get the 2nd? Mitro does. Mitro and Mongrel get the victory royale, and they make the statement. That is their qualifying game, Sundown.
11 eliminations plus the 25 for the victory royale. 36 points, push